Okay, so here's the whole haul here. Kind of got divided by genre, so we'll start off on this side here. We got some Richie Havens, The End of the Beginning, A Taste of Honey. I'm not sure if Honey's the name of the band. This is the wrong genre here. Dave Dudley's Greatest Hits. It's like some kind of country truck driving music. And this is kind of cool. This is from the first annual benefit concert for the Congressional Black Congress, recorded live in 1974. And Paul Robeson singing here on the Everest label. These are some old recordings that have been remanipulated to sound like stereo. And Little Richard singing some spirituals on United Records. I think that's kind of a budget label like Crown that reissues stuff. Yeah, they're based out of Los Angeles. That's probably what they are. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Some Lou Rawls here on Capitol. Early stereo. More Lou Rawls on Capitol. We've still got most of the shrink wrap on these two. Brooke Benton, Home Style. And I think this one in the band, he's got let's see, King Curtis tenor sax, Pepper Adams baritone sax, Joe Newman trumpet. We got some jazz players on there. I think one of these Lou Rawls had some jazz players on it too. Yeah, we got Barney Kessel on guitar. I don't really recognize anybody else there, but have a jazzy backup band there. And Edwin Starr, War and Peace. Of course, got that famous song War. You know, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. This one's really good. I was listening to this earlier. The band War, The World is a Ghetto. And the Blues Magoos, Psychedelic Lollipop. That's kind of weird. They had this priced at $10 in November of last year, and then they just dumped it in the free bin for some reason. This one's pretty good. I was listening to it last night. I like it. The Loving Spoonful, Everything Playing. I haven't listened to that one yet. Kama Sutra. These are pretty cool. These are Rhino Records things here. The History of Surf Music. I guess it's a 3-volume set. So this is volume. Let's start the other one. The other one's volume 2. So the original vocal hits where they're singing about surfing. The first volume was the original instrumental hits. So you had like the Surfaris and I guess like the Ventures, things like that. And then volume 3 is the revival 1980 to 1982. I think these records came out in 1982, so that would have been what was current. And the Ventures 10th anniversary album. I don't know why I picked this up. Shana Na Anthology. I don't think I'm going to listen to it, but you never know. The Hollies, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. And some Spirit. 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. The Family That Plays Together. And Live Spirit. Spirit of 84. This kind of got the band back together in 1984, I guess, and re-recorded some of their hits and a few new tracks, but wasn't too successful. Straubs, English kind of folk prog group. These are from, I think, the late 70s here. Deep Cuts and No Madness. And then some Black Oak, Arkansas. I didn't like this one. I gave it a listen yesterday. I didn't really like it, but I made a interesting discovery when I took the record out and found something else inside the inner sleeve there. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. And then we got Tommy Bolin, who'd been in Zephyr and a few other bands, Deep Purple. This is his second solo album, I guess. And Utopia, with Todd Rundgren here. Ventures in Utopia. Oops, Wrong Planet. And POV. These are all in really nice shape. I don't know why they were in the free bin. A lot of these guys, I don't really know that much about them. I know they're kind of, I guess 70s album-oriented rock, kind of mainstream stuff. So I grabbed them just in case there was anything valuable, but they're not really that valuable. So you got some Ian Lloyd, some Al Stewart, Jackson Browne, For Every Man with the little die-cut cover there. The Pretender. In really nice shape though. Cat Stevens, Is That So? And some early REO Speedwagon here, Lost in the Dream. Still in the original shrink. Peter C. Johnson. I think this is somehow affiliated. I think he's got Nils Lofgren playing on this one. Ian Matthews. Alvin Lee. From, 10 Years After. Solo album here, Rocket Fuel. This one was, nothing special. Nils Lofgren here, Night After Night. I guess that's like a double record live set, I think. This is kind of cool. This is a UK 12-inch here for Dancing in the Dark. Here's got an extended mix. And Pink Cadillac on the B-side. Everybody's seen this album if you grew up in the 80s. Velotte, Julian Lennon. Some Rick Springfield. I don't know why I grabbed some of these. They were free and I just grabbed anything that looked halfway decent. Ace with Paul Carrack. The Tubes. New wave music there, I guess. Completion Backward Principle. This one here was really interesting. I thought it would be a dud. I thought it was like later Bananarama. Never been a huge fan of them. I know who they are, but when I popped on and gave it a quick listen, I was pretty impressed. It was actually pretty good synth pop stuff. And apparently it was their first album. The very first album. So that was pretty cool. I think I'll keep that one. Dead or Alive, Earthquake. Of course, it's got the big hit single, You Spin Me Round. Gold stamp promo. This one was pretty good too. I think I'm going to keep that one too. Roxy Music, Viva Roxy Music. The live album on, this one's on Atco. I think I might have a British pressing of this one somewhere. And here's some keepers here. Simple Minds, Sparkle in the Rain. And Split Ends, Time and Tide. Split Ends, Conflicting Emotions. These are all in really nice shape too. So. Public Image Limited, One Drop. It's a 12-inch single or EP here. It came out in 2012. So it's kind of weird that it's already in the free bin, but in really near mint shape. It was okay. It was nothing like the early Public Image Limited in terms of catchiness, but it was pretty good. This is really kind of cool. I was kind of excited to find this. From the World of Music, Art and Dance, WOMAD. This is I guess they call it a talking book, focusing on Asia. So you got different tracks from different musicians out of Asia. Inside there's a booklet that kind of has like little essays about, I guess, the types of music and religious festivals from these different countries. And I know there's some involvement with Peter Gabriel with the whole WOMAD thing, but got a couple other albums on the associated with WOMAD, the World of Music, Art and Dance Festivals in England. Don't really know much about this. The Mighty Wah. Comeback, a little 12-inch single here on Beggar's Banquet. the UK. This one still sealed in the shrink here. The Stereo 300. Did a little research. I guess people from a couple different punk bands came together and recorded this. Can't remember the name of the label, but it's a local, I guess, Florida-based punk rock label. And apparently this goes for a decent amount on like Discogs or eBay. So I think I'm just going to eBay this one and try to get some cash for other records here. India Irie Acoustic Soul 4-song vinyl sampler. It's a thick package here. And there's actually like two 12-inch singles inside here. That's kind of interesting, but not really my kind of music. I've never seen a package like that before. Thick. And getting into some heavier rock, we got Rail, Arrival, I'm guessing late 70s. Best of April Wine, the Rock Ballads. Mazzy. I've heard that name before. I think he's kind of like a guitar. That must be him. Guitar hotshot like Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve Vai, Paul Gilbert, those kinds of guys. So I'll give that a listen. Keel. You know your heavy metal, you know Keel, Ron Keel and the boys. Popped this on last night for a bit. It's actually pretty good. Brings back a lot of memories of being in high school and watching heavy metal videos on the TV. What else? Raven, Stay Hard. Popped this on. It was not very good, or at least I didn't care for it too much. I guess their whole schlock was athletic rock or something. So you got some guy with a football helmet there, and it says Wacko on his helmet. I don't know. Helix. This is some kind of foreign pressing here. Let's say French. Yeah, it's a French pressing. Yeah, kind of run-of-the-mill, hard rock, heavy metal type stuff. Lizzie Borden. I didn't listen to this one yet. This might actually be better than some of the others here. Menace to Society. That's on the Enigma. It's also branded with Metal Blade. So that's kind of cool. And of course Crocus. The Blitz with the Ballroom Blitz. And let's see, Midnight Maniac. Yeah. Alright, so we'll switch to the other side here. Alright, so getting into the jazzy type stuff here. I had several of these records by Boots Randolph, the guy behind Yakety Sax, which is a real catchy song. It's actually like what Benny Hill used as the theme song to his show. But these are all sealed on the Monument label. I'm guessing they're like late 70s, early 80s reissues. They've got kind of a cheap quality to the printing to them, and they're real thin packaging. So, but there's like 6 or 7 of these. So you got Yakety Sax. Plays more Yakety Sax. The fantastic Boots Randolph. Boots Randolph Sunday Sax. I'm guessing that's kind of religious music. Yep. Boots Randolph plays the great hits of today. Sentimental Journey. And Saxational. Got a little hype sticker on there. So they're all sealed. Kind of weird. I listen to his stuff. He doesn't really impress me that much, although I do like that song Yakety Sax. So getting into more serious jazz, we've got a early Verve here. Ella Fitzgerald in Berlin live with the Paul Smith Quartet. So that's Paul Smith on piano, Jim Hall on guitar, and then a guy in bass and drums. So pretty good stuff. It's a little bit rough, but I like all those early Verves. On World Pacific Jazz, the Buddy Rich Big Band, live at Caesar's Palace. I like that cover. It's pretty funky stuff. It really swings. It's actually quite good. I was pretty impressed with that. Eddie Higgins, I guess jazz piano guy, on the VJ label. Yeah, see, a lot of these things, they already had price stickers on the... They were in an outer sleeve and they had price stickers and they're priced too high. But I wonder if somebody maybe had a antique mall booth or something and just tried to dump these or what. And James Galway on flute and Henry Mancini in the pink. I guess playing Mancini's works here. That's on the RCA label, digital recording. The Horrors. Yes, you got like the Pink Panther, Baby Elephant Walk, Speedy Gonzales. Nice. Some Living Stereo. Well, not really Living Stereo, it's Dyna Groove by this point, but Hugo Montenegro. Music from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More. Haven't listened to this, but just based on the source material, it's kind of cool. Figured I'd give it a shot. And a percussion album. It's always worth a shot. This is The Exciting Sounds of Milt Raskin. And this one's been reissued several times on the Crown label and I think another label. This is a later Crown reissue here. Kind of a cheapy one where they just got a list of all the different Crown releases on the back, but it's pretty good stuff. Early stereo recording here, different railroad sounds. It's on the label Rondo out of New Jersey. So it's kind of neat. The recordings, a lot of them are trains at a train station in Peekskill, New York. So you got like trains pulling into stations, leaving stations. Guys with the loading carts, kind of your station sounds, your different train sounds. Kind of neat. Sky High Steel. Let's see, by Doug Jernigan. It's steel guitar stuff. Let's see, on United Steel label. It's actually pretty interesting stuff, and interesting that his first track here is called Yakety Axe. It's the Yakety Sax track, but he's playing it on steel guitar, and then he's got a backup band with like fiddle and banjo and bass drums, things like that. Pretty good stuff. I got at least one or two other steel guitar type albums, so I'll keep that one. Some Deutsche Grammophon here. Eric Satie, not sure how you pronounce it. I've heard of him. This is on the Angel label, and it used to belong to the McGill Library at Haverford College. Haverford College Music Department. So, looking forward to listening to that. Kind of a more modern composer here. And, this one's kind of out of place, but we've got, I guess not, it's jazz. Grover Washington Jr., Wine Light. I've got a nice white label promo of this, but just picked it up. It's still in the original shrink. Larry Carlton, I don't know, I'll give it a shot, but I'm not expecting much. And then the soundtracks, Caddyshack 2, kind of the pop stuff of the day. You got Kenny Loggins on here again, Cheap Trick, Earth, Wind and Fire, Lisa Lisa and the Cult Jam, Pointer Sisters. More American Graffiti, beautiful cover art there by, what was his name, something Griffin. I used to know what that guy's name was. A whole bunch of different artists on the back of this one here. The Deep, composed and conducted by John Barry, including Disco Calypso, sung by Beckett. Nice, got a little disco tinge to it. The River by John Williams. We got Mel Gibson and what's her name there? I can't remember. Ragtime, composed and conducted by Randy Newman. This actually looks kind of interesting. I was just looking at the notes on the inner sleeve here, but it looks like it ties into the architect Stanford White, I guess around the turn of the century, who had some kind of fling with a young lady, Evelyn Nesbit, and her fiance or husband shot him dead in some kind of New York club. So, interesting story. Up the Creek, I'm guessing that's a comedy movie there, featuring Cheap Trick, the Beach Boys, Heart, Kick-Axe, Ian Hunter. Here's a classic 9 to 5, original motion picture song soundtrack. I don't know why I grabbed this. Staying Alive. Actually, the music's not bad. I shouldn't say that. It's got decent music. And then getting into the comedy stuff, this one's pretty interesting. It's a guy named Orson Bean, At the Hungry Eye. Now this guy's been around in TV and movies for quite a while, and he's kind of got like a kind of a voice talent type guy. He actually did the voice of Bilbo Baggins in the old Hobbit animated movies. He's been on a whole bunch of different TV shows if you look him up on IMDb, Orson Bean. But kind of more intellectual type comedy. It's on the Fantasy label. I'm not going to try to pull it out right now, but it's on red vinyl. And it's really neat because it comes in the original Fantasy inner sleeve that lists all the different releases on Fantasy. And there's also a separate piece of paper that's like I guess a mail order checklist or something. Buddy Hackett, How You Do? Comedy and Songs on the Coral label. Couple of tracks on here. It's kind of him doing his imitation of a Chinese waiter. And I listened to it. He also got the Chinese Laundry. I'm not quite sure what to think of it. You know, it's, I don't know, kind of racist, to say the least. Cheech and Chong, The Big Bamboo. Of course I checked. It's got no rolling paper in it, but yeah, I had to give it a shot. Godfrey Cambridge. Haven't heard of this guy before. Them Cotton Picking Days Is Over on Epic, the Footlight series. Comedy Caravan, I guess a compilation on Capitol. So you got Andy Griffith, Yogi Jorgensen, Harry Carey, Stan Freberg, and Johnny Stanley. Kind of cool cover art on that one. Von Meter, Have Some Nuts. I'm guessing it's kind of like political comedy. It's on the Verve label. And also on Verve, Jonathan Winters, Humor Seen Through the Eyes of Jonathan Winters. And Great Moments of Comedy with Jonathan Winters. I think there's a compilation of his comedy stuff. Also on Verve. Kind of cool logo there. And Evening with Groucho Marx here on A&M. 2-record set. I went through these quick the night I got them, just trying to get an idea if they were worth anything or worth nothing. These are just rough estimates, but I'm just going to end up giving most of these away or donating to the Friends of the Library sale that's coming up in a month or two. I'm only keeping probably about 10 or 12 records out of this whole mess here. Norman Temple, I'm Just a Little Baby. Kind of weird. It's on Record, I guess. The name of the label. Los Angeles, California. I grabbed it just because it was on a independent label, and you never know if these things will be worth a lot. Doesn't look like it's all that rare, but it could be interesting. Some Kitty records here. I see this one all the time. It's nothing rare. But Mother Goose Nursery Rhymes with Sterling Holloway on the Disney Disneyland label. We probably got about 4 copies of that here in the house. The Chipmunks Go Hollywood. I don't really collect Chipmunks records, but I see them around quite a bit. Sesame Street. We've actually got a handful of Sesame Street records just because they're pretty cool. This one's Monsters, a musical monstrosity. And Pink Panther Punk. It's a pretty god-awful record here, but when they put this together, obviously whoever did it didn't know a whole lot about punk music. So you've got like the Pink Panther theme, Rock and Roll Panther, but it's funny, it's got Another Brick in the Wall, Blondie's Call Me, Billy Joel's It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. I don't know, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Speaking of pretty bad, actually I couldn't even listen to this one. This is on the Huckleberry Hound with Stories and Songs of Uncle Remus, which is a really weird mashup. But it's on the Columbia Special Products imprint, and either the pressing is just horribly done, or someone played this with just a completely trash stylus. But I mean, I could just barely hear it over all the static, and not static, but just the damage to the groove, or maybe the grooves just weren't pressed far enough. I just could hardly hear it. So this is just pure trash, but kind of neat to see Huckleberry Hound. Although I'd get rid of the kids. I just like Huckleberry Hound. He's pretty cool. So that's it. That's pretty much the haul. I'll come back in a second and show you what I found in the Black Oak, Arkansas record here. I love how it's called Keep the Faith. So as I was saying, when I pulled out the record to give this a quick listen, this Black Oak, Arkansas, I made a strange discovery. So it came in a nice original Atlantic Records inner sleeve here, showing off their Atlantic and Atco and Cotillion records here. I was familiar with a lot of these. I used to be big in Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer as a kid. So I pulled out the record and threw it on the turntable. I noticed there was still something kind of inside the sleeve, something sort of thick. And I thought maybe it was like a promotional thing or a postcard or something. I pulled it out. I gotta be careful showing it here. I can show this. Something folded up and pictures of lotion, motion lotion. I see the word Frenchies, and yeah, I can't really show. Yeah, maybe I can show it this way. Show the other side of this thing. It's definitely something of its period here. Let me fold it up here so you can see the cover. Alright, so if I fold it up, unfold it and get it straightened out the way it should be, you can see what it is. It's the whole International Sex Catalog, and on the back of it, I'm not going to show really what's inside because there's some pretty explicit photos of naked women and devices and lotions and stuff, but there's a mail order check sheet here, checklist. So I'm not going to read off what some of this stuff is. It's a bit obscene, but I thought this is kind of hilarious. I guess the album's from like 72, 73, something like that. So this would have been what some creepy little guy had back then. Look how it says, where does it say it? Oh, here it is. Please rush the checked items below. Like, I cannot wait. I need my Orgo Vibe and my, I'm not going to say, the Kingfish. How about that? So that was pretty hilarious. I've never seen anything quite like that in an old record. Alright guys, so that's the big free haul here, courtesy of Second and Charles. I'll talk to you guys soon.